Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, the numbers are coming in from last week's fight that I had a privilege of attending. Shout out to Neil Hoop Jab for helping me get that. But the Terrence Crawford Hank Lundy fight, the numbers, the ratings are coming in from that fight, and I wanted to kind of talk about them and just get into Terrence Crawford and his direction as a star in boxing. So let's get into it, man. BoxingNews24.com reports that Crawford Lundy averages 982,000 viewers on HBO, and then it peaked at 1.03 million views. So we look at those numbers, and I look at other guys who you would consider big names in boxing. So we'll start with a guy like just guys who are not the best fighters, but I'm saying they do good numbers. Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia, obviously had a good run at 140, but he's fighting 147 now, and he's going to. He usually averages. I know for his fight against Paulie Malignaggi, I think he might have done 1.9, 2 million, something like that. And I know he's usually around the 2 millions, especially when he fights on NBC. So he's usually in the 2 millions. Crawford, on the other hand, he's in the he peaked at 1 million. So with that being said, I'm very worried for the direction of Terrence Crawford's career as a star in not just boxing, but that becoming a crossover star. Because, like I said, he's got star talent, he's got pound for pound talent, he's got main event skills, but he's not getting the fights that the people want to see. And Danny Garcia, he's already had some fights that have made him a big name, like the Amir Khan fight. Terrence Crawford hasn't had. He's fought good opposition, but he hasn't fought the opposition, the ones that people want to see him fight. So he couldn't get the Pacquiao fight. Pacquiao didn't pick him. He couldn't get the fight against. He couldn't get the fight against Postal. So he wound up fighting Hank Lundy, a guy who was entertaining, who I'm a fan of. I like Hank Lundy. He's a good fighter. Has been robbed a couple of times in his career, better than his record shows, but still not at 140 at least the best of opposition. So people didn't really tune in for that one. So Terrence, for Bob Arum, I really don't want to see Terrence become this guy that gets shelved or doesn't reach his potential in boxing, because I feel like when it pisses me off too, because I'll give you guys an example. I was at my day job the other day, what I usually do, and somebody came up to me and they were like, Brendan, because they know I cover sports and stuff. They said, Brendan, I'm so excited for the fight this weekend. So when they say I'm excited for the fight, I'm automatically thinking in my mind boxing. But they said I'm excited for the fight, and then she tells me what it was. She says Miesha Tate versus Holly Holm, and I'm like, oh Lord, that's gonna be a good fight. Shout out to Miesha Tate and Holly Holm. But I feel like everybody in this country should know who Terrence Crawford is. That everybody in this country should know who Roman Gonzalez, Chocolatito, Sergey Kovalev, Danny Garcia, all the big name fighters in boxing. I feel like everybody should know them, and it really frustrates me that these guys are not getting the proper exposure they deserve. A lot of that is because people are sick of boxing and us not seeing the fights that we want to see, having to wait for the fights that we want to see. While in the UFC you got them putting on the exact fight they want to see. Now, I obviously think boxing is still, it's very popular, but it's definitely been reduced to that of a niche sport. And in the case of Crawford, in the case of Terrence, he's going to really need those big fights coming real soon. We're going to need to see him in there with the likes of a Postal, the likes of a if they can get it done, Manny Pacquiao. Hell, even if the Cold War could end and Bob Arum and Al Haymon could work together, Danny Garcia versus Terrence Crawford would be a huge fight. That could be a huge fight if you did it the right way. So those numbers, shout out to Terrence. He did $1 million on HBO, but those numbers aren't too promising. He did sell out the small theater, but I'll be honest, he sold out the small room at Madison Square Garden. But if we're honest with ourselves, I was there. A lot of those people in there were there to see Verdejo, and a lot of it was Omaha, Nebraska people. There wasn't a lot of people from New York City. I would say there were a lot of percentage of that crowd. There were not a lot of New Yorkers there to see Terrence Crawford fight. I know there were some, but there weren't a huge amount. So Bob has got some work to do. Terrence just needs to keep doing what he's doing, but and do it against better opposition when the time comes. But Bob, he's got some work to do, and he's got to get Terrence the right fight. So not too not too much positive to take from this. I know it's a little bit, HBO viewership's a little bit harder because it's a premium channel. It's not on network television, but still no excuse. Terrence Crawford should be fighting better opposition, and people should know who this guy is already. That's just my take on it. You guys let me know what you guys think. Terrence Crawford averages 982,000 views on HBO for his fight at Hank Lundy, and 1.03 million at his peak. Is Bob Arum hindering Terrence Crawford's development from becoming a star in boxing? And just let me know what you guys think about that in the direction of his career. And leave your comments, do all that good stuff. And until next time, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.